So if you want to find the chocolate pudding recipe in your pile of recipe cards, so you've all got it to follow. This one, if you remember, this is like a chocolate sponge pudding that we're going to bake on the barbecue. And with it, there's several stages to getting it prepared. So this is quite a good one for breaking down in amongst your group, each doing an individual task. So with it, very few ingredients in fact, but for example you've got chocolate, which is the 75% cocoa chocolate, critical for this recipe to work to ensure that you get the molten centre to it. So the chocolate and the butter will need to go into a saucepan and then you would melt that on the barbecue. Now some of you have got side burners on the gas barbecue, some of you haven't. So what you can do is you can light your normal cooking grate on the gas barbecue if you haven't got a side burner and just sit it directly on the cooking grate itself. So take a wooden spoon, keep stirring it, but the butter will act as a barrier so not to burn the chocolate.
Moisturise the bars or take the bars out?
No, leave it as it is and just sit the pan directly on top. Yeah. So that's task one, so one of you could do that. The other task is that we need to whisk the eggs and the sugar. So the eggs you'll find just on the far side over there. Your sugar is obviously over on the side there. Now what is quite important is to make sure that you use the large bowl that I've provided for you for whisking the eggs and the sugar, because of course it's going to increase in volume. So they need to be whisked together. So that's another person's task. Then we have the flour and the cocoa, which needs to be weighed out into the smaller bowl. And once you've done that, you're going to need to wait for all the other bits to be prepared, so the chocolate melted and the eggs whisks. We're going to then combine it with a folding method. So I don't know how many of you are used to folding, but using a metal spoon, it's a very gentle way of stirring the mixture without breaking down the air. But the most important job, which will probably be the person who weighs out the flour and the cocoa, is to grease the ramekins, because we turn this pudding out onto a plate, and we'll show you when it comes to eating it a really good way of dressing it so it looks really fancy with cocoa on the plate and a quenelle of mascarpone on the top. But you will be not forgiven if you don't grease that ramekin properly, because it won't come out. So please make sure you're quite generous when you grease the ramekin dish.
Was it the button?
I've got one already. Yeah, Walter got it.
You're doing the chocolate. Name's doing the...
So you should find it quite easy.
Here for you.
Yeah.
So we need
I just put it there.
125 grams, 100 of that, and 25 grams.
So it should just be a pack and a half.
Pack and a half, is it?
Yeah, and then your butter is just half. Whole, David.
Yeah, I'll explain that the butter from.
Yeah.
1.5 of those.
Yeah, that's it. So with your chocolate, it's 1.5 packets. Your butter, it's half a packet. Chocolate, 1.5. Yeah. Save you weighing it all out. Makes life easier for you. You need to weigh your cocoa and your flour. Oh, look at you. Huh? I've asked them to do it, so made a bit of a joke about butter.
Are you wanting to do the salmon or do you want me to do the salmon?
I don't know, what would you like to do?
I'll do if it's just makes, if it works, I'll do the salmon.
Yeah?
So it only takes 2 minutes to
Yep, no problem.
Yeah.
Weight on there. 0.
You've got a spoon or a weigher? I can guess 75 actually.
I think important that you weigh it. It's critical. Isn't it?
125.
It should be half a packet actually.
You've got some scales there, so...
In the cream tub over there.
That's now for Claire to finish.
That's why I like doing the chocolate recipe.
That's why it's 1.5.
Some scales here, so you can go again. Then what
Damn
do you
shame.
put the ball on the scales as best as you know.
I'd break it down just because it melts quicker. That's the only reason. Are you all right there, Andy? Finding yourself. I'll get you some electric whisks out actually, make it quicker for you. Electric. It's the way forward.
That with an electricity?
Yeah. There's one. We've got some PowerPoints here. And I'll get you some beaters, which are always handy. I'll get you some butter for greasing.
Claire, are we doing this on the which barbecue are we doing?
You're on your gas one, so
Gases are off, aren't they?
let's have a look. So yours will do, yeah, so if you put the front 2 burners on a medium. Yeah, I think Jamie might have even switched some of them on.
So it's indirect, is it?
It's direct because we want to melt it. So lid up, turn it. Perfect. And then you can turn them both to... So you can do it that way if your barbecue's like this at home, but this barbecue actually has a side burner.
Yeah, okay.
So we won't use this.
Well, they can always use this.
And then literally, let's just lift it up.
Yeah.
And then you do the same. So turn it to the thunderbolt, as I call it. And then that's it. And then put it on top.
Medium here?
Yeah, definitely. Don't want to burn it.
You can always put it on a chimney stack.
I just get a bit scared because it's not very safe.
I take it Claire's explaining the importance of the buttering.
What I will say, Mim, is there is an electric whisk over there, which I would actually advise is probably the easiest way of doing it, because you will be worn out. I know you want to warm up, but...
I went mad whisking and trying to do it, and then everyone explained to me, you can't do it the same way in February in Australia.
I think I'm going to have to go to Australia and try it.
Yeah, bring them on.
Yeah.
Where's the flour? Sorry.
In that tub there.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. What are you after? A wooden spoon? A little bit more. It doesn't look very much.
Cocoa powder and self-raising flour. Okay.
Do you know what I'm going to do? Just test it. Perfect. Yeah, you. You need to come on a course when there's not 9.
Ah, do you?
Oh, that's his own fault, isn't it? You know, little, it's traffic or dessert. To me, it would always be dessert. So.
I think Claire would probably be going for dessert.
Yeah, I would.
Getting home late. I'm getting this impression.
They use it to measure it into the bowl. I think.
Yeah. Straight in, and then push up. Yeah. It's all right. Still coming back.
Yeah.
Get it through the sieve. And once you've done that, the folding method is all about a big, clean sweep round the side. See how I'm lifting it over and then cutting it through.
Special about mixing this.
And you just want to do it until it's incorporated. Don't go any further because you just want to keep going so you're not knocking any air out, or very little air. Do you want me to show you guys? Folding? Let me get you a metal spoon.
Okay.
We make crab lax at home.
Yes,
My
lovely.
wife makes crab lax, yes.
Okay.
She's Scandinavian, so she makes it.
Swedish, Danish, Norwegian?
Swedish Finn.
Right. We thought Claire sounded a bit hoarse.